Change y Talks, un podcast original de Ketónico, con Uri Sabat. Capítulo 2. Música y Keto con Miriam Nervo.
Meet Nervo.
Hello, Uri Sabat.
How are you?
So well, thank you.
I'm so happy you're here.
Me too.
I think he's the best person to have here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
because these talks are called Change Talks.
Uh-huh.
And we are speaking about a lot of things.
Yep.
But we're speaking also about keto. And you are the first person to speak about keto to me.
Yeah, I was. Because my dad has been keto for how long now? Has it been 8 years, 9 years?
Maybe.
A long, long time. And he is a ketoholic. Don't you think?
Well,
I mean, you call him Gary Keto Nervo.
Of course. I must say that for the people that doesn't know either you or me,
Yep.
you are my wife.
Yes. And we met 5 years ago when you interviewed me.
Yeah, this is my second interview to you.
It is.
The first interview was amazing.
Winner, winner.
What can we expect on this second?
I don't know. Well, I'm not as nervous.
You weren't nervous.
No, of course I was, baby. I was. You
Really?
were gorgeous. I was like, oh my God.
Okay.
I'm in love with the presenter.
Oh, me too. Love at the first sight. But
Absolutely.
stop talking about us.
Okay.
You
Yes,
know?
yes, true. It's not about us.
It's about change, okay?
Yes.
Because we've been speaking with a lot of people here that they change their lives.
Yep.
I want to know, I already know your story a little bit,
Uh-huh.
but I want to speak about your story, about your change. Because
Yes.
you've
In
been
diet.
in everything.
Ooh.
You're a musician.
Yep.
You're a composer. You're a performer. You're a DJ.
See.
The best DJ in the world.
Oh, I'll pay you later.
When your sister lived.
Exactly.
Both you are Nervo.
Yep.
You were born in Australia. And I think that since the beginning you had your idea on working on music, right?
Of course. See.
And that was a difficult path. It wasn't easy at the beginning. How did you change in the beginning your reality?
Oh,
How
well,
was
look, we were, 18. I think we'd turned 19 the week that we got to London.
Yep.
And of course, when you're 19, you've got stars in your eyes and you think you're going to work really hard for a couple of years and then make it in your field. And that was definitely not the reality for us. We went overseas, burned through all of our savings and got nowhere.
Really?
And then, we were getting somewhere with our music, but it's just not an overnight thing. It's like you have to work on making music, and we thought every record we were making was amazing, but the reality was they just weren't, because they're your training wheels of making music. And then what followed was 6-7 years, maybe even 8 years of waitressing in the UK, moving to many different countries. For example, we had to move to Sweden because the UK didn't extend our visa. And in that 1 year that we moved to Sweden, we got a top 10 in the UK, so then we moved back to the UK. So that was okay. But there were a lot of hurdles, constant changing of geography, of rental situations,
Of boyfriends, I assume.
Yeah, we didn't. Yes, well, we didn't have too many of them.
Okay, thank you.
No, boys were not the focus. They really weren't. They were
course.
focused for a minute, but Liv and I are definitely quite, I would say, career headstrong.
Yeah, that's a very important point, because I think that you could raise your success, or you could just do your professional career because you embrace the change.
Yes.
Change was something that you weren't afraid of during your career. Even changing countries, changing friends, changing ideas, types of music, everything, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think we learnt that. It wasn't easy at the beginning, but the reality is once, you're getting kicked out of a country, you have to find a visa somewhere else in order to do what you love. And then you just start from scratch again and then keep building up. But yeah, change it's that famous Darwin quote, isn't it? It's the species that is able to adapt to change that is the most, that can survive the most. It's the ones that don't adapt, that don't survive. So, We have to.
You have to adapt to change and to adapt to a really different life of what people think that you have. Because I want you to tell us how difficult it is to just travel the world, being every night in a different city. How do you manage that?
Well, we manage it day by day. We don't plan a lot. Like even you and I, we're just, which country do you want to live in this month? You know, and of course now it's different with children, but actually I feel like we've been pretty good at still moving around to many countries. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's a frame of mind. I think once you embrace change, you realize that you may as well give it a shot. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, carpe diem, you know, try it, see how it works, because certain changes will, you know, it might not be the answer straight away, but you'll get something great out of it. You'll get strength out of it. You'll get knowledge out of it. You become a brighter, wider-minded person. Mm-hmm.
We've been speaking about this changing countries, changing cities every night, and so on. We are here in Change Talks of Ketónico. We speak about keto diet, and about keto lifestyle. Yes. And I was saying to you that you were one of the first people that just talked to me about keto. Yeah. And I think it's really interesting your dad's process.
Yeah, well, Dad was a type 2 diabetic. Yeah. So he used to inject every single day insulin in order to keep his blood sugar levels at balance. Mm-hmm. And things weren't really... I mean, I hope Dad, is this right?
Gary, how are you?
I don't think things were working that well for him. He didn't like sustaining his blood sugar level with drugs. Mm-hmm. And Dad's an endodontist, so he's very into medicine and how the body works.
He's a scientific, basically.
Yeah, he's super scientific. Mm-hmm. He really believes in the science behind medicine. And he researched a lot and then decided he would go on the keto diet to keep his sugar levels down. He did, and he has never injected since being properly on the keto diet. It's been, I think it's over 8 years that he's been doing it now. He feels better. He had to, you know what Dad always says to me, and you and I actually, it's about changing your mindset, because, you know, when we eat keto, we always like to get the keto bread and the keto pasta and the keto pizza. And Dad's always saying to us, stop fooling yourself with these fake foods. Change your mindset and like what keto does. So eat eggs, meat, and don't worry about fake keto bread. So Dad's very good at adapting to change, and it's just been a fantastic diet for him. So one by one he tried to convert the family.
That's important, because he experienced it on his bones, on his weight, on his lifestyle. He lost a lot of weight. He lost, of course, that diabetes and everything. But you and Liv, you also did it, and I would like to know your experience
and
with
my
keto.
brother.
Also.
Well, we would do it in bouts. Like we would do it in moments when we were in Australia, because the whole family's on keto except my mum. She can't give up cake. and so we would all try it together and, you know, barbecue together and all that jazz. And it would work. But the problem was us going back to tour life. Yeah,
that's impossible to handle, right?
It's pretty hard, honestly. It's very difficult. Mm-hmm. And what you find is you eat less, because you can't find the food that you need to eat. And then that puts you into ketosis even faster, because when you fast, you go into ketosis. Yeah. And
I want to say something about that.
Okay, hit me, go.
Because I've been touring with you girls for, for a long time.
Since we met you.
And it's like, it's not a planned fasting, but it's like
the Nervo tour diet.
A fasting, because, you don't know the time zone, you don't know where you are, you don't know if you have breakfast or lunch or dinner or whatever. No. And you fast.
Yeah.
And you feel good.
Yeah, we do. Well, I never like to eat a big meal before a gig. Mm-hmm. And sometimes if I'm so exhausted and I need to sleep before a gig, sleep will take precedence over a meal. Mm-hmm. So then what I find is I quickly get up, get ready, go to the gig, then I'm starving. But the problem is when you're really hungry at 6 a.m, the only thing that's available is kebabs, McDonald's, all that kind of bad food. And the reality
what a pity,
is,
right?
Yeah, no, the reality is we have to sometimes eat that because you have to eat. But, you know, keto has, do you want me to stop or keep going? Okay.
You can keep going.
Okay, great. The keto, the funny thing is, keto has come into my life quite a few times.
I know.
And through a few different ways. As you know, when we got pregnant with our second baby, well, I got pregnant, but...
Well, I
you
did
were
my
helping
job.
me. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You did, Jim.
3 minutes.
2 minutes. No, much longer.
Cut.
Well, when we were pregnant with our second, I got gestational diabetes.
Yeah.
And I had no idea that I had it. And I was feeling awful.
Yeah. And this is a very important thing because we experienced it together.
We did.
And I remember we were in Australia, in Queensland. In Queensland?
Well, we were on the way to the airport and we got the phone call from the doctor.
Yeah, and you were feeling exhausted.
Oof.
Like, I was feeling exhausted too because of the time zone and the difference between Spain and Australia.
Yeah. I was convinced I had COVID. Remember how many COVID tests I did?
Yeah. And you also, your body was like, you know, like...
exploding.
Yeah.
I was like bloated beyond belief.
Absolutely,
and I
yes.
was quite pregnant.
Yeah.
But too bloated.
Yeah.
I know this sounds weird, but I was lactating like crazy. Remember? That was awful.
We're going too personal, but yeah.
Yeah. And I was just feeling awful. I remember I really didn't want to see Nonna because I kept thinking I had COVID because I was feeling so much worse than what I was with our first pregnancy that I thought this can't just be pregnancy because, you know, this is way worse.
Yeah.
And then we got the phone call. Dad actually told us, remember? And said, you've got diabetes, gestational diabetes. You have to go on this keto diet. I know you want to eat and celebrate and drink champagne on New Year's Eve, but you can't do it right now.
Yeah.
And
it worked.
It worked.
It
did it.
Worked.
And it took about 7 days to kind of stabilize, I would say. But from the feeling beyond awful to keeping a control of my blood sugar level, I felt like I was a new human being. Yeah. It was amazing. And everything felt better. And then I got to educate myself actually on diabetes because I had to prick myself every day and check my blood sugar levels an hour after eating. And then actually, because at first my dad was adamant that we should go on keto. So we went on keto, and then I went to see the doctors, and they were like, they were telling me to introduce carbohydrate, low releasing GI carbohydrate. And I remember I ate 3 grapes. Remember 3 green grapes?
Yeah.
And I went up to like 11 and a half in half an hour. And I felt awful. So massive crash. And so then I just went back to keto.
Yeah. I think you and Liv, when you're on keto and everything, it's hard because also if you're touring, as you said, you know, it's
that's the hardest thing. It's the planning of eating.
Yeah, but I think that it's also you can just plan it as a lifestyle, you know, cutting a little bit of carbs and doing like a more healthy lifestyle because a lot of people, they are thinking that like a DJ, a superstar DJ, they have a chef or a complete different life, you know, and it's absolutely not like that.
No, it's hustle, it's work hard, and it's
no sleep.
No sleep, nervos.
It's something really unpleasant a lot of times, you know. Of course, it brings a lot of good things, and you've been surfing the wave, and you've experienced amazing times. But also, you had to do a lot of sacrifices.
Of course, yeah. We don't show the bad side to our job on social media because let's face it, no one likes a complainer.
Yeah.
But you know, there is a lot of work that goes behind.
What's the biggest sacrifice you would think just right now?
Oh, family sacrifice.
Yeah.
That's the biggest. That's awful. I mean, we're dealing with that with the summer. I love you, puppy. But yeah. The family time sacrifice is the worst.
The family time. Sometimes the energy that you just have to put on your professional level.
Yeah.
That you don't have that much energy to your personal level.
No. I mean, look, I'm lucky because I have you and you understand a lot.
Of course.
Like when I come home on a Sunday and I haven't slept at all, but yet it's our family day, you're cool, you're good. And, you're like, baby, go sleep 3 hours and then come back, Yeah,
that's an important point also. Like we've been talking about your changes in life, how having a family, having kids changed your life.
Well, not only is it a physical change, because also you have something that you have to look after. It's an emotional shift.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Of course it's amazing. All the cliches are there for a reason, and it is the greatest joy of your life. It makes you be a better person. I really believe that. Like, down to simple things like obviously not swearing and crossing the road when the man is green, and but also leading by example, because that's the only real way to lead, and so I think being a mum has been a wonderful thing, even when it comes to diet. You and I are quite like, we're upset if Ithaca's not eating well.
Yeah,
if she's only eating only carbs and no greens and no good avocado fat.
Yeah, or processed meals. We don't like that.
We don't. And so it just makes you I think it makes you be a better you.
Yeah.
So, but with that comes a different pressure, because obviously when you don't have kids, you work 24/7. And then when you have kids, you work 25/8. But you just have to delegate things, right?
That's a good one. I think that that it's everything is a balance. I think that also with the diet, if you put too much stress on your mind, like,
of course,
having to follow something, like feeling guilty because you've been eating something, no. I don't think it's healthy for you. I think the balance on doing things right and letting you go if you need something.
Yeah, it was different when I had gestational diabetes, because remember that flight we took from Australia to Europe, and they'd closed all the food service, and there was no food that we could buy, and all we had was a kilo of Brazil nuts. I don't think I've eaten a Brazil nut since.
That much, yeah. I'm fed up of Brazil nuts since then.
And we were so starving, and all we could eat were these. They're not dry, but once you've eaten about 100, they're dry.
Yeah, of course.
Your jaw hurts eating them.
Of course.
And so that was awful, because I felt like I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't even eat a packet of biscuits, which I would, of course, do now.
Of course.
But it's nice. I like trying different diets. I like I've done the juice diet.
Yeah.
Where I survived off juice, and I did the colonics. And, did all that kind of stuff, cleaned out my gut.
To purge, I don't know if it's the right...
Yeah. You do these caffeine colonics, and then I was taking probiotics. I'm always very interested in diet, gut health, and just health in general.
What do you think? Because you've been, as we said, traveling to almost every country in the world. We have an internal joke that I say, have you ever been there? And yes. Have you ever been there? Yes. You've ever been to everywhere? But what do you think about, like, for example, the difference between Australia and Europe in terms of diet, in terms of like organic food and all that jazz?
Look, I'm obviously a proud Aussie, but the diet consciousness in Australia, I think is fantastic.
It's incredible.
It really is.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think in Spain, the food is tasty, but my golly gosh, it's not healthy. It's not like you guys.
I need to say that you're becoming the best tortilla patatas maker.
Yes, well, it's a keto.
That's without patatas.
Without patatas.
Just with spinach and some cheese, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And that's another change on you. You've been transforming in a very good Spanish chef.
Yeah, we eat differently in Oz.
Yeah.
I think maybe my family also eats quite differently.
Mm-hmm.
We eat a lot of sweet potatoes instead instead of potatoes. We eat a lot of greens, vegetables, broccoli. We don't fry. We don't fry. My family, they might cook some meat in some oil, but we don't deep fry it. We don't own a deep fryer.
That's interesting. And as we say in Spain, ahora la entrevista la pasamos en español y empezaremos ahora en español porque sabes un montón de español, ¿verdad?
Bastante, no, más o menos. Not really, amor.
¿Entiendes el español?
Claro, when you speak, sí.
Yo creo que entiendes más a otras personas que a mí.
No, es verdad.
¿Seguro?
No, absolutamente no.
Vale,
Solo tú.
¿Estás aprendiendo español entonces?
Sí, ok, bien. Vamos.
¿Qué es lo que más te gusta de España?
Tú.
Muy bien. Esa es la respuesta correcta.
No, ketónico. No, ketónico.
Ketónico.
This is what I like the most.
Está bien. No. I think that you're improving your Spanish.
Sí, it's a little bit difficult, I think, being in Barcelona because people speak Catalan.
We are everywhere, so if we are here 2 or 3 days, it's difficult to you to learn or to go to school or whatever, right?
It's true. And our language at home is English. And so, but I want to learn. I really, really want to learn. I want to be fluent in Castellano, in Catalan. I'd love to.
Speaking about changes, we've been speaking about your personal life, our personal life, which is amazing. What about business, music? What happened in the lockdown? How did you manage that? How could you, of course I know, how could you survive, being in the plane every day and then stuck at home? How could you survive to that?
Look, I think when COVID started, I think we were ready for a break. We just had Ithaca. So Ithaca was 6 months old. And obviously we were all scared about the virus and the unknown, but it was nice to have a compulsory pause, So agents can't get upset at you for not working hard enough and all that jazz. And
you could take your time because you've been 10 years
touring,
basically.
Absolutely.
And as we were speaking before, you said no to a lot of things.
Yeah.
During these 10 years, family, having,
of course.
Yeah.
No, I was been really dedicated to my career for 10 years. I'm still really dedicated and excited and inspired, and I love my career. I really love it.
Yeah. And creative.
Yes. But I think maybe I felt a bit pressurized by some of the business people I just feel the pressure from them, and I don't want to let people down. And if you have different agents and they're pulling you in one direction or the other, there is a point. Sometimes you get criticized for saying no, and I wasn't very good at saying no. I'm probably still not good at saying no.
Well, there's a saying that there's, I don't know who said that, but they say like the most successful people is that they say no to everything.
Yeah, and I'm a yes person.
Me too.
Yeah, we are. We're like, I want to do it. Yes, I can do it. Let's try and do it.
We love a project.
We love a project.
We love, a different, input in our life. We try to absorb the best things on.
Of course. But sometimes we fill up our plate a bit too much.
Maybe we overbook ourselves.
Yeah. It's true, we do. All the time.
Yeah.
And so anyway, COVID happened and we had to decide where we wanted to be for COVID. And we decided we were coming to Barcelona.
Yeah.
So we came and we stayed with your parents, which was amazing. Yeah. And they got some incredible Ithaca grandma and grandchild time. Yeah. And honestly, we had a really, really good COVID.
Yeah.
Now things are back to normal. So getting back to normal. So it's changed.
Have you felt the change in industry, the crowd, the people, the music?
Yeah, the crowd is, I feel like they're happier. They've been away for so long, and I think people are just so happy to be socializing and feeling the sunshine and being back to some sort of normality. Yeah. So I think it's really positive right now, really positive. It is kind of ramped up. It's gone from 0 to hero. So I feel like that's taking a little bit, like the first 2 months that Liv and I were back, We lost things at every single gig. I would lose a USB. I lost headphones, lost everything. It's because you have to kind of get back into that tour frame of mind of like, what do I have with me? Great. What do I need tomorrow? Damn, you know? So
it's part of your work.
It's reprogramming again.
It's incredible because then when you're used to that, you just keep going.
Autopilot.
That's incredible. And that's something, if I can say, that when we met and we start touring or I was with you girls and everything, it was something incredible to me that you, I always say that it's like trained. You're not trained by Nervo, you know, and you have to be Nervo trained because it's like,
it's ridiculous.
Do this, do that, and then when you see it from the outside, it's like, you're not going right. No, this will lead you to an argument.
Do you know what? We've learned some tricks. We've learned tricks.
You don't have time. It's like time to this.
Yeah. Like traveling with not a lot of luggage. That's a big tip. Yeah, you don't need much. Travel light. Also, how you pack your luggage is also super important. Roll your clothes so then you can see them all.
Say no to the last tequila. Because next day you have to wake up early.
That's true. Depending. Once every now and then. It's a bit of fun. There's a few tour secrets that have just helped us along the way.
Yeah. I want to tell you a lot of things. We don't have all the time, but speaking to you, it's like, of course, amazing for me. And I don't know, like your best night ever, working-wise.
Work-wise, there's too many.
One that you say like, oh my God, I'm here, I'm doing it. It's been great. Nothing wrong happened. We performed amazing and wow.
I think Ibiza is always very special because it's a music island and you're always bumping into so many friends.
Yeah. We need to say something about that because Ketónico was born in the north of Ibiza.
Amazing.
And the spirit of the north of Ibiza with the organic, the tribe, the community, the hiking, the sun is what we want to just also show to the world. It's part of the brand. And I know that Ibiza is something super important for you and your sister, for example.
Well, we've lived in Ibiza, I would say, for like 7 summers.
Wow.
It's a lot. We've been based there. And so we've really gotten a feel for the whole island. We haven't lived in the north, but we did live in St. Carles one year, which was amazing. And it is a spiritual homeland. I feel like I haven't been back properly for 2 years. And then this year we're going to be there for the summer again. So Ibiza is a very special place also for food. There's some incredible restaurants like farm to table restaurants there that were some of the first, you know. There's one of my favorite restaurants, you know, you and I have been many times, La Granja.
Yeah, of course.
And they pride themselves on what you're eating is what they have farmed. Organic, gorgeous.
Yeah.
And so I love Ibiza because of the friend aspect, the music lover aspect.
You've got a lot of connections there, real friends.
Family,
You've been experiencing there a lot of, you know, amazing nights, amazing days too, right?
Ibiza is a very special place, very special. I've never been to Menorca.
Menorca, yeah.
That's the one place I really want to go.
Yeah.
Because I love Mallorca as well.
Mm-hmm. I would say
the Balearics.
The Balearics are amazing.
Yeah.
Ibiza and Mallorca are different between each other.
They are.
But maybe if you compare like the north of Ibiza with Menorca, I think they have quite connections in terms of like, of course, the environment and the biodiversity and whatever, but also the vibe, you know, like more wild, more rural, more.
I love the smell of Ibiza after it's rained. It's just, you know, reminds me of just goodness.
Oh, yeah.
So, Ibiza is definitely, maybe one day we'll live there. We don't know.
Yeah. And what do you think about the society now? What do you think we are approaching the world after what we lived, what we experienced in terms of like community to like being together? Like we've been apart from the people that we loved. We've been working at home in front of our computer and not touching each other. What do you think about
look,
that?
It depends how deep you want to get, but I feel like a lot of the world is disconnected and it's not very bright, like mentally, with what is happening around the world. But I think what's important is to keep your tribe is your vibe. Do you know what I mean? Focus on good things, because I think actually the world at the moment with everything that's going on in Ukraine is just not right. It's just, I'm dumbfounded. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, you've been a lot of times in
yeah,
Ukraine.
We have. You've
played there.
Yeah,
big
festivals. We've been to Odessa many times. And I think actually, I think it's important for people to regroup and good people to stay together, because there's some crazy shit going on over, in the world.
You've been also always spreading with your brand, with your music. I think that not because I'm your husband or whatever. I think that if I see it just as a a fan or whatever, it's like a good vibe,
Absolutely.
Like good vibe, love,
positivity,
all these things, no?
Well, it's like what Uri said about you. He goes attitude.
Good attitude on everything.
Yeah. And that's also why I think you and I get on, and we like trying things. We like a challenge. We love doing a keto challenge.
Yeah, we love it.
And doing the pea sticks and seeing if we're in ketosis.
Yeah.
Do you remember that time you thought you were in ketosis?
Yeah. I thought I was like deeply in ketosis, and I wasn't.
You were.
And you.
I was. Yeah, and
That's so funny.
And I remember I'm like, baby, what did you eat? And you were like, I had a peta. I was like, okay, well, that's why.
Yeah. But this is one thing that I want to say, that we just say like keto is a good lifestyle.
Yes.
But we don't want also to people to get like frustrated because they cannot reach the the level. It's like,
I think
keep it cool. And
I think what we should point out is also we don't do it to lose weight. Or it's not a vanity thing. No. It's a health thing. Yeah. And it's about thinking clearly and not being bloated and feeling awful after meals. Yeah. I think the one problem with the keto world is the price tag. Mm-hmm. I really do think it's expensive to be keto. Mm-hmm. And like keto bread costs 12 quid a loaf. So I think the second keto products start becoming a bit more affordable within reason, because let's face it, fruit and vegetables and meat, we should be paying for that.
And quality is sometimes
expensive, and actually,
and carbs are
cheaper.
Are cheap, so
it's true. Yeah. And you also have to kind of put your mindset into, well, this is my budget. I'm actually budgeting a lot more towards food than what normal people would within there.
And I think that it's what you're saying is super important, is also focusing on your health. You know, like what you put in your mouth and on your stomach. And now that we are parents, we also think about it. It's like you want to give the best, not going crazy and overpriced and buy things that they are useless, but like quality and something that gives you energy and keep you growing.
And you also want to create good habits with our babies. We want them to know that it's really good to eat brown bread, not white bread, and brown rice, not white rice. In fact, never eat white rice. Eat lentils. Do you know what I mean?
Or sugar,
Never eat sugar, never. I mean, look, my parents are both dentists, so I literally never had a soda. We weren't allowed sodas in our house ever, or juice, anything like that. It was water, and that's it, and coffee. I like coffee. I think coffee.
We love coffee.
Yeah, I think it's kind of okay for you.
Yeah.
Although my sister is weaning herself off it, and she's constantly saying it's the worst thing for your body. It's the hardest to wean off.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I just think what I appreciate with my parents is the habits that they instilled.
Yeah, that's super important. Yeah. And I think habits on diet,
eating
habits on being in the nature, exposed to the nature.
Habits on having a good attitude.
Yeah, connect to yourself also. Habits to be mental healthy, not in this bad mood or whatever.
They can be taught.
Of course.
I think they can.
Of course.
You can, yeah. So I think that's where that's the start, right?
Change your mindset to change your body, basically.
Yeah, or as Dad says, stop fooling yourself.
We've been speaking a lot about Gary Nervo. We gave him a big kiss.
Shout out, Dad.
Shout out to Gary Nervo. It was the one that just introduced us to Keto.
Keto. We have to get him some products.
Of course.
But, don't worry, Dad. The keto bread is delicious. We're not cheating.
Of course. So, Ibiza is amazing.
Yes.
Ibiza will be amazing this summer, every Wednesday at Eden for you. So
yes, we are.
If anyone wants to join us,
June 29th we start.
We will be in Ibiza, Eden, every Wednesday.
And if you like, you can drink keto, so you can drink tequila and soda. But
you can have your cheat day there with us.
I mean, that's pretty cool that you can drink tequila and soda and it's keto. But don't worry, we're not that crazy about being on the keto diet. But it's if you want to have some fun.
Yeah, Ibiza, Wednesday on Eden, and this summer pretty overbooked.
Totally overbooked.
Like Tomorrowland.
Yeah, Perukaville. We're busy. Busybitches.com.
How many gigs, more or less? Or
Do you know, I haven't even counted.
No. It will be hard for us to have a date night.
Yeah, it will be. You know what? We can see each other after the summer.
Okay.
We're wrapping this up.
Okay, so
thank you, guys.
Thank you. We meet after the summer. Thank you, Mim.
Thank you, Keto Uri.
Thank you, Keto Mim. I love you. Thank you for being here, and thank you all.
Change It Talks, un podcast original de Ketónico, con Uri Sabat.